Hello, this is Cathy Cassidy and I'm here to read you another chapter of Scarlett. And once again, I'm sitting in the garden. It's lovely and sunny and I am typically sitting in the shade so I don't squint at you. And I'm in a different place today. Behind me you can see I've got a beautiful bush called a mock orange. It's about to burst into beautiful white blossom all over, and the blossom smells gorgeous, but it's not quite there yet. Maybe in a couple of weeks I can show you it and it'll look quite different. But I'm also sitting next to our pond, and in the pond there are lots of tadpoles and frogs, although I don't think you'll be able to see them on this. But if I turn the camera around a little bit, hopefully you can see the pond. Yeah. And here we are back again, and I'm going to read you chapter 19 of Scarlett. But before I do that, I have some more shout outs for today. I just wanted to say hello to Francesca and Amy, to Ali and Holly, to Sophia, to Rach and the girls, to Celeste, to Sheena Bean, who had a fabulous birthday a couple of days ago, to Helen, to Doreen, to Hill and Craig, to Jan, to Jen, to Sophie, to Natalie, and of course to Catkin and Isaac. And those are my shout outs for today. Don't forget to let me know if you would like a shout out. You can just leave a little comment on the YouTube channel, or send me a message somehow, so that if I see it and I remember to write it down, then you've got a shout out. Don't forget to give the YouTube channel a little subscribe or follow so that you get to see each new chapter as it gets posted up. And yeah, if you can, tell your friends about this. If you know anybody else who might be enjoying the chapters, and that goes for people of any age. I've been told the age group for my books is no longer 9 to 14, but now 9 to 99, and I think that's just the loveliest thing ever. So if you think that you know somebody who might enjoy listening to the stories, tell them about it, send them a link, because it really helps. It helps me a little bit, but more importantly it might help them, which I think is cool. So here we go, we're on chapter 19, and things are going to get a little bit dramatic in this chapter. So, Holly has a friend from school coming over for the day, so I pack my rucksack with bread and apples, ready for a day at the lough. There's no way I want to ever see any of those Killimore kids again. Not ever. Claire looks up from the table where she's stitching new patches onto the quilt. Beside her is a heap of scrap fabric and a roll of red ribbon, partly unfurled, snaking here and there through the rags. A memory flickers across my mind, a good memory. "What's the ribbon for?" I ask Claire. "Not sure yet," she admits. "It was going cheap and I thought it might come in useful. Maybe I'll use it as an edging." "Right," I say. Claire studies me, eyes narrowed. "Unless you want it," she says. "You'd be very welcome, Scarlett." I try for a couldn't care less look, but my grin betrays me and I scoop up the ribbon, winding it back onto the roll and stuffing it into my backpack. "Thanks, Claire," I say. "No worries," Claire replies. "See you later, Scarlett." Kian is already at the lough when I get there, just like he has been every single day lately. We never plan ahead. It just seems to work out that way. Today Kian's standing at the water's edge, brushing midnight until his black coat shines like silk. I fish the ribbon out of my backpack and unravel it, looping it through my fingers as I walk towards them. "Okay," Kian says. "Ribbon? Now I'm scared." "It's not for you, idiot," I tell him. "The wishing tree?" "As if," I snort. "No, it's just an idea I had for midnight. I meant to bring scissors though." Kian chucks me the brush and walks over to the wishing tree. He reaches up through the branches, almost disappearing in the foliage, and brings down an ancient, bulging rucksack. A blackened tin pan is tied to the strap and a battered spoon sticks out from one of the pockets. He fishes inside, pulls out a pocket knife and hands it over. I open the blade and slice the ribbon into manageable lengths, then watch him hide the knife away, lift the rucksack back into the tree. "What else have you got hidden up there?" I ask him. "A toothbrush? A sofa? A 50-piece dinner service?" "Stuff," Kian shrugs, sitting down on a rock at the water's edge. "A bedroll, supplies, some food and hay for midnight." "Okay." I take the brush and start working through Midnight's mane, smoothing out the tangles. When I was a kid, I dreamt of having my own pony. It was what I wanted more than anything. I used to imagine plaiting its mane with ribbon, and now at last I can do it for real. The big black horse leans his face against my shoulder as I thread the thin red ribbon into his mane, weaving it in and out. "Know what I like so much about you?" Kian asks, watching. "My wit, my charm, my gorgeous looks," I quip. "My skill with a horsebrush and a bit of ribbon." "Well, naturally," Kian grins, "all of that. And also the way you don't ask too many questions. You just take me as I am. Weird, secretive boy who keeps all his worldly possessions in a tree. What's to ask questions about?" "Seriously, though," Kian says. "Seriously. If you wanted me to know, you'd tell me, right?" "Exactly. And I don't. I can't. Not yet." Midnight sighs, a huge shuddering breath. I weave a dozen red ribbon plaits into his mane, by which time the horse has just about fallen asleep on my shoulder, leaning heavily against me. "My turn now?" Kian asks. "To fall asleep on my shoulder or have your hair braided?" "Either. I'm not proud." I ruffle Midnight's mane and blow slowly onto his velvet nose, and the big black horse shakes his head and snorts and looks at me from liquid, long-lashed eyes. I plant a kiss on the white star on his forehead. "I'm crazy about your horse," I say lightly to Kian. "He's crazy about you," Kian shrugs. "I'm a big disappointment to him these days. No ribbons, no apples." "Shut up," I laugh, digging him in the ribs, and we walk back up to the wishing tree. "I always wanted a horse when I was a kid," I tell him. "A black one, like Midnight. I was going to convert the garage into a stable. I wished and wished for a pony, but I got a broken home instead. I gave up on wishing." "Ah, but that was before you met me and Midnight," Kian grins. "We're living proof that wishing didn't give up on you." "Yeah," I reply. "Everything and everyone else did, that's for sure." "Not me," Kian says, his blue-black eyes looking right inside my soul, making me shiver. "No, not you." We fling ourselves down onto the grass, stretching out in the sun. "So what's new?" Kian asks. "Nothing much. Schools have broken up and Holly has a friend coming over, so I'm hiding out here, staying out of the way." "Don't blame you," he grins. "I guess things will get busier now. Kids off school, day trippers, tourists. This place may be quiet, but it's still in one or two of the tourist guidebooks." "Seriously?" "Seriously, we'd better make the most of it," he says. Suddenly, away in the distance, there's a squeal of laughter and a crunching of twigs. We jump to our feet. Through the trees, I glimpse two bright figures weaving along, laughing, carrying a picnic basket. "No way," I breathe, furious. "It's Holly and some kid from school. I told her to stay away." "Too bad she didn't listen," Kian says. "I'll get rid of her," I promise. I run into the woods and Holly sees me and waves, crashing through the undergrowth. My anger flares when I see that Holly's friend is Roz, the dark-haired geeky girl from the school. "Scarlett!" Holly exclaims, her face all smiles. "I knew we'd find you. I was telling Roz you spend all your time down here these days." "I told you I wanted to be left alone," I say, through gritted teeth. Holly laughs. I know, she says, but you don't mind now that we're here, do you? I asked Roz over specially, just to surprise you. Surprise me? That is not the word that springs to mind. Roz has the grace to blush, but she can't get a word in edgeways. We've brought a picnic, Holly blunders on, and we're just dying to meet your friend Kian. Before I can stop her, she steps out of the trees onto the grass beside the lough, scanning around her. Oh, you're on your own. I thought... Roz and I step into the clearing too. My mouth falls open and a prickle runs down my spine. There is no sign of Kian, no sign of midnight, even though they were here, right here, just a minute ago. They may as well have vanished into thin air. So that was our chapter of Scarlett for the day, and things are getting kind of mysterious. And another question that has been asked on the YouTube channel in the comments, I think somebody was saying, where did you get your inspiration for Kian from? And I promised I would say, and it comes from a long, long time ago when my kids were just toddlers and we were on a camping holiday in Ireland because we were mad and poor, and we would travel round Ireland in a tent with two little toddlers. So, but one particular day we were camped somewhere in the Midwest coast of Ireland, probably around about this area where Scarlett is actually set, the kind of Galway, Mayo kind of area. And I remember the campsite was probably about a mile or a mile and a half from the village, and I left my husband and the kids at the tent and I walked into the village hoping that I could get, bits and pieces, bread and supplies really, for our tea. So I was just taking a bit of a mooch. And I was walking along a very, very quiet country lane, and it was all overgrown with great big fuchsia hedges and very beautiful, and on a sunny summer's day. And then along the lane towards me came a big black horse with cream feathery feet, very like midnight. And on the horse there was a teenage boy without a shirt on, can't remember what colour hair he had. And he just said hello as he passed, and on he went as though it was the most normal thing in the world, just to be riding a horse along a country lane in Ireland. And maybe it was, and maybe it is. And he didn't even have a saddle. It just felt like somebody had come out of the past, or out of a legend, and passed me by, this kind of hassled mum walking to the village. And I never forgot that image, and that was the idea behind Kian. And then in this chapter that we've just listened to today, Scarlett talks about always dreaming of having a pony, and she plats ribbons into Midnight's mane. And I spent years as a child longing and dreaming and wishing for a pony of my own. And I remember campaigning and saying to my dad, couldn't it just go in the garage? It could live in the garage. And we didn't really even have much of a garden. We just had pretty much a backyard. And my mum and dad were like, no, it's not going to work. But I really shared Scarlett's longing for a pony of her own, and I would have done things like that. I would have wanted to plait ribbons into its mane, so that little bit is just from me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's chapter. Didn't get dive bombed by seagulls or anything, so I hope the weather is still good where you are. I hope you're still enjoying the chapters and your little bits of escapism from the lockdown. I hope you will tune in tomorrow, and until then, just stay safe and keep smiling, and I will see you.